So, did you know over 50% of the time people spend building materials in Word is not actually on what we're saying, how to say it, is this the right place to say it? It's on what font do I use? What size should I use? Is this, how do I get this picture? Oh, I just made an edit and now that picture is on page 2 where it was used to be on page 1. So, over 50% of your time is spent on formatting. It's not on the actual material. And setting up some using some features within Word, having some strategies, some processes can make your life so much easier. The mechanics matter, and that's what we're going to dig into today in this learning and development lunch hour. So I look forward to going over everything that my top 5 features. All right, everyone. Thank you. Thank you for joining me on this Friday. It is actually, well, my mom thinks it's a special day. It's actually my birthday today. I turned 45. Feeling old. Was counting even more and more gray hairs in my beard today. So, like all birthdays, there does need to be party favors. So at the end of this, I do have some things to give out to you guys. So yeah, and I was playing around. I figured out how to bring in Snapchat filters into this. So we could have this birthday suit, not the actual birthday suit, right? No one would pay to see that. We could be a Viking, right? This one, I think this one's my favorite one. And the creepiest one is this. Like, hey, I'm Uncle Fester. But not that I'm going to use those a lot, but just knowing that I can do that, it just makes me smile, and that makes it even more fun for me to do these type of things. So Jeremy has said some of his favorite features. One is dictation, and the other one being transcription from videos, which is one of the online features, whether it's in Word, whether it's in PowerPoint. Those two, both very powerful. And which is great is I'm not covering any one of those. So Jeremy could share that at some point, or we can cover these at another point. But we're gonna jump right into it today. And again, anytime you have any questions, put them into the chat. I'm always open to sharing some time and going over things that we can cover individually. But here, so we're going to jump in. We're going to get it right into Word. So obviously you can see above my head, my top 5 items are right there, and we're going to kind of go through these. I tried to lay it out in a little bit of a logical order. So we're going to start off with the Quick Access Toolbar. And so let's actually get into the screen so we can see this a little better. So Quick Access Toolbar, for those that don't or aren't aware of what it is, if we look at the ribbon for Word, so depending on where you have it set, it defaults to above your tabs. It's where you have your save, you have the undo. You can add things to this. So, and just so everyone can see it, let me point this out a little bit more. So there's the Quick Access Toolbar, right? This location is currently above the ribbon. My preferred place to keep it is actually below the ribbon. So let me get rid of this. So if I click down that little drop-down caret right at the end of that Quick Access Toolbar, I can scroll down and I can mark it to show below the ribbon. And reason why I like it below the ribbon, and it's really the main reason I love the Quick Access Toolbar, like if you only take one thing away from this today, is use the Quick Access Toolbar. So what this is it's static. No matter what tab I'm on in Word, and actually this is across any Office product, so Outlook, PowerPoint, Excel, Quick Access Toolbar is on that. Now it's specific to each program, so what we do in the Word one won't carry over to PowerPoint or Excel. But if I'm currently on the Home tab, if I switch over to Draw, if I switch over to Layout, it doesn't matter which one I go to, whatever's on my Quick Access Toolbar is always there. So it's about mouse mileage. Things that we do repeatedly and we have to go and find, go back and forth to keep doing it. Why have to go and say, let me go back to insert and find what I want, click on it, then go continue on, do what I'm doing, get to some other tabs. Now I need to go back to insert, and now I have to, come back to it. So the way we can add things to this quick access toolbar, let's say we'll use insert as an example. Maybe we always are inserting pictures. I can just, on the cursor, on the ribbon where the item is, I can just bring my cursor over it. If I right click on it, I can add it to the quick access toolbar. And what will happen is at the end of the quick access toolbar, it's going, the last item that's on there, it's going to add that item on. So now no matter where I'm on, what tab I'm on, insert pictures is always there. So I can drop it down, I can insert a stock image, right? And I get that dialog box, and I can go and I can drop those in. Right? So I'm able to quickly maneuver to items that I use all the time. For me, there's 3 items that I think everyone needs to have on their quick access toolbar. One is print, preview, and edit. The other one is, well, actually, I'm going to put 2 items together. New file, close file. Just so you're not having to go file, and when this comes up, choose new, or choose or choose close. Get them right there on your ribbon. And let me get this back out. Right, so new blank document, close file. So print, preview, edit. And the other one is the styles box. And this is going to make more sense when we dig into styles with a later one. But so we can add things. We can, by right-clicking on them, right click, add to quick access toolbar. We can also remove items by right-clicking on the item on the quick access toolbar and choose remove from quick access toolbar, and it'll take it away. The other main area where we would be able to add things on, if I drop down this caret, and you'll notice it's going to give you customized quick access toolbar, and it gives you, I think, about 10 items that are always there. And notice there's a print preview and print, which is different than the one that I prefer, print, preview, and edit. And I'll show you the difference in just a moment. But if we come down, the second to the bottom, the second choice from, the second from the bottom, more commands. If I select this will actually give me a dialog box. Let me unzoom. And what this is showing, on the left-hand side, is showing you all the different commands that are currently available based off of your command, where you're choosing your commands from, popular commands. And on the right-hand side is what's happening on your quick access toolbar. What's at the top of the list is on the far left-hand side. So notice, like, turn autosave on and off is the first item on my quick access toolbar. And if I look at the actual quick access toolbar itself, there it is. So this is important, one, when you want to lay things out where it's easy to get to. The other thing that's nice about the quick access toolbar is there's keyboard shortcuts. So Alt-1, so if you hold down Alt and the number 1, it will basically perform whatever's that first slot in your quick access toolbar. Right? So if I did Alt-1 right now, if I was out of this box, it would turn on autosave, or turn it on or turn it off. If I do Alt-2, it would save, and so on. So you can set this up, especially if you're doing repeatable things, like you're going through the document and you're like, I need to bold a whole bunch of things, or I need to center a whole bunch of things. Set that up as, the first or second slot, and now you can just have your, as you're scrolling through the document, get your cursor where you want it, Alt-1, Alt-2, wherever those locations are, and you can quickly go through it. So again, mouse mileage. How are we being able to do things without having to, move our mouse multiple places over the screen at one time? So I'm able to, I can move things over on this, highlighting them, move up, move down, those type of things. I can also choose items from the left-hand column. So popular commands is what it defaults to. But if we drop this down, we would then have all commands, commands not in the ribbon, macros, things like that. I generally go to all commands. And the ones, again, what I said, the ones that I always want to have on there is going to be print, preview, and edit. It's going to be the file open, file close. The styles box, which is style, And then actually there's a fourth one. It's AutoCorrect, and we're going to talk about that one as well. But basically in this list, and if you ever want to be overwhelmed by just everything Word can do, just start taking a look through this list. But I could come through and let's say, I don't know, make shape larger was something I did all the time. I could, highlight it on this, and I could click the add, which would bring it over and would put it into my list, and now I could start, I could manipulate it. When I was happy, I would just click OK, and now I'm good to go. Before I close this out, though, the last item I want to show you in here is this import-export. Because what's going to end up happening is you're going to have a lot of times where you get things set up exactly the way you want it, and then IT comes in and they have to like reset your computer and you've lost it all. Or you do stuff, you use your laptop all the time, but you now have to go in the office and you have to be on the desktop. By using import-export, we can import or export all your customizations. So if I choose export, it's going to prompt me to say, and I can give it a name, but it's going to prompt me to save a file with the structure of how my quick access toolbar is. So you could set up multiple quick access toolbar, layouts based off what you're trying to do. So if you are always, when you're editing documents, there's certain things you always need: track changes, add comments, those type of things. You could have a layout for your quick access toolbar with that. And then when you're creating materials, you could have a different one for that, because maybe you're doing a lot of work with tables or stuff like that, and you want to have those features. And all we have to do, once you've saved it, later on, when you want to bring something else in, you would drop down, let's say, drop down export, or drop down import export, choose import customization file, and now we can bring in that other layout. The one thing you do, whenever you do these, you do need to restart Word just so it kicks in, but that just takes a moment, and we're up and running, and we have the layout exactly the way we want it. So for me, Quick Access Toolbar is the absolute ultimate item that people should be using because it makes your life so much easier. It fits in no matter what type of thing you're doing. Hi, Gabe. Thank you for joining. I do thank you for the birthday wishes from everyone else. Rob and Jennifer and Cheryl. Thank you so much. That means a lot. I really do appreciate it. All right. So again, number one, Quick Access Toolbar. And we're going to start adding things in. Oh, before I jump up, because I did say that print preview and edit, just so you can see what that is. So a lot of times when you're working, and you'll notice as I'm working in my Word document, I keep my formatting on, so I can see, where my returns are, where there's spaces, where there's tabs, right? If I want to make sure I'm formatting things well, if I get a document and things are laid out like this, and someone wanted some words in the middle of the document, and they've hit tab a whole bunch of times to do that, or they've used the space bar to do that. These are the things that create issues later on, right? We make changes and everything goes haywire. So for me, always keep your formatting on. That's just a bonus tip. But so print, preview, and edit on the leader guide, or on the Quick Access Toolbar, I've got it set up here. If I click on it, what it gives me, when it eventually will pull up, because nothing's working super fast today, and I may have to restart my Word in a moment, but print, preview, and edit gives me the look of my document as it would be printed, but I do not have that whole left-hand side of my page, and actually I'll show it to you so you can see it. Right? If I went into regular print preview, I end up with all my choices about printing and settings and how do I want it on my page, and it takes up space. It actually it makes it harder if I want to look at two pages side by side. So for me, print, preview, and edit is the better way when I just want to quickly look at what would this document look like if it went to print right now. If you want to just do print preview, that's fine. It's all personal preference. All right. So that was the Quick Access Toolbar. So let's actually jump in to my second feature that I think everyone needs to be taking advantage of, which is styles. So we'll get back into Word here and look at this. All right, so I'm going to start up a new document. And again, because I have the new document on the Quick Access toolbar, I just need to come up, click on it, and it gives me my new box or my new document. All right, so styles. I think people have a general idea about these in most cases. And actually, let me move in this document. Let me put this, my Quick Access toolbar, back beneath. And it just reset it up there because I haven't restarted my Word yet. But there, I have it beneath my ribbon. Now styles, think of this is, you see normal, you see heading 1, heading 2, right? And that's what we'll see on the actual home tab. If I give myself an arrow, right, we have the styles box where I can go and I can choose is it heading 1, heading 2, things like that. And so this is a way we can quickly apply branding to our documents, right? We can say, what would be my heading 1 is this font, this size, this color, and my heading 2, so think of it like a module and a lesson or a topic and a subtopic, right? So how styles help us define the structure within our documents, and structure matters. Structure is what allows us to build repeatedly. I think it's part of my, like what I call the 90% solution. It allows me to go through and I'm able to not think about how do I want to lay things out. The structure's there for 95% of the things I do, and then I only really have to put mental energy into the 5% that fall outside of that. So structure matters. Styles is a foundational piece of structure. What do we have here? I am trying to show this. Yep. So, oh yes, styles is the way of creating an accessible document. Absolutely. Makes it very, very easy. That's a great point. All right. So styles, right? We have heading 1s, we have heading 2s, right? And here, like if I was to come in and I was to type, let's just put in some, we'll call it topic, subtopic, right? Get all those things in there, right? Lesson, however, whatever we want to call it. Now I'm able to, we can apply styles. If we put our cursor in the line up until the paragraph mark, another reason why these paragraph marks are important, right? If I get my cursor anywhere in there, I could come up and say, all right, this is actually heading 1 and apply it, or it's heading 2, right? And obviously there was, you'll notice my ability to type and talk is not the best. It's a skill that I have never developed. But I could go through and I could quickly apply different styles to my document. Right? I'm able to work my way through this by applying the different styles. Now, with styles, my biggest recommendation is do not rely on the default ones for Word. Like if I was to start up another new document, and let me close this one out just because it seems to be acting funny. But I'm going to create a new document, right? And my regular fonts, as I'm typing stuff in, and this is why I like in my Quick Access toolbar to add that style box. And in the party favors, I'm going to show you how you can do this. So don't worry about that. You'll get that with the party favors. You'll be able to come in and you can see put my cursor somewhere and I can see the style that's there. But the reason why I don't recommend using Word's default ones is everyone has it. So if you go in and you edit a style and you say my normal isn't Calibre 11, but it's Alhambra 14. Well, that's great. It looks fine on your system, right? You go through and you're using all those and you've edited heading 1 and heading 2 to look exactly the way you want. And you send that document to me or to your boss, and they have edited their headings, right? They've edited their default styles. So their normal isn't Alhambra 14, which you have. It's Magneto 16 or Magneto 11 with, that's teal. They're going to get a completely different look and feel because when they bring it into their system, it's going to apply their look and feel for their heading, for their styles. So what I recommend doing is coming through and putting in your own styles. And here, I got myself caught up in a Zoom. And here's this. So styles also help us create a PowerPoint outline. Absolutely, they do. And one of the things we're going to put, as we go through one of my next items, we're actually going to start building out an outline to start working on this. And again, a lot of these features, as we apply them in Word, cover other Office products. Some of them will work in Outlook, some of them work in PowerPoint, some work in Excel, some work in all of them. So learning key features across all these products are going to make a big difference. All right. So if we want to go in and create a style, and if you notice over on the right-hand side of my Word document, I already have a styles box open. But if you didn't have that open, so let me close this out. If I want to launch the styles box, all I need to do is come up on the Home tab. So I'm on Home. And in the Styles section, if you click down this little down arrow, it will open up a styles box. And I have mine locked to the right-hand side. Yours may be floating and you can just expand it or drag it to where you want it. I like the styles box because it's easier to see and manipulate than it is to try to navigate through this, the laundry list kind of, or the spread of how Microsoft displays it, in the styles gallery. But what you're going to end up doing is you can come in and if you want to create your own, and actually I am in the way, so let me kind of move myself. If we down at the bottom, we can come in, and if you click on that little A with a plus, it will give you a dialog box where you can go in and you can create your own style, right? And I could call this, test style, right? And we can get into what type of style is it? Is it a paragraph? Is it a character? You got a whole bunch of different choices that you can go into, and today I'm not going to dig into all of those. But we can base it off a different style. So let's say we've already created a series of styles, and we want to use that as the base to build our next one, so I don't have to make as many choices. I can do that. But I could go through, I'm going to just leave it, I'll leave everything else alone, but I'm just going to go in and give it, we're going to use Algerian, we're going to make it like 20 points, and let's change our color to, something god-awful like red, just so it stands out. And I'm going to make this for all new documents based on my template. And I can load this in, right? So now, if I was to, I'm going to go back and I'm going to put a different style on. Got my cursor in the wrong place, but here, let's go through. I could now add in some text, right? And I could work through, let's say this is going to be a headline, right? I could come in and I could start applying, put my cursor in the line, and it will basically the line up until the paragraph mark that I want to have this happen at. And I could say, if I want this to be my new test style, I could click on it and I can apply it. All right. So the last point I want to talk about with styles is there's really 5 base styles you need. And you definitely want to think about your structure. What's the structure that we're using? So if you've got, modules and lessons or topics and subtopics like heading 1, heading 2, right? Then I think you need to have a headline style, right? Title style. And do you think you need to have a body text? What's my regular text that I'm going to be using, right? Like what I've highlighted here. bullets, numbers, right? So 5, 6, general styles that you're going to use throughout the document. Now, you're going to probably have some other ones for one-off situations, but in general, like a title style, right? It's like what's on the cover page, those type of things, but it only happens like once or twice in the document. But working in a document, probably 5, maybe 6 styles that you're using, and it keeps it simple for you to do. Let's see. So Liz says, great about outlines. I always develop outlines in Word for my virtual training whiz courses. Thank you. Thank you, Liz. Virtual classroom trainings and in-person training outlines are the keys to success. I think any preparation is successful, but having a great outline, having what you're trying to achieve, definitely is going to get you there. And you're right on the spot with that, Liz. All right. So styles, just know that's where they are. Obviously, styles is very powerful. That's one. I actually put together a video just on styles, and it could be quite long. If we were to get it, and actually, let me just open one of these up. If I wanted to edit one of these, let's just say I wanted to edit. We're gonna edit my body text. So if I come in here, once we have a style, if you ever want to edit it, all you need to do is highlight it in your list and click the little drop-down caret, and I can come down to modify, right? And so now I'm in a specific style, right? I could go through and I could change over, like if I don't want this to be Cambria, I want it to be Broadway, I want it to be 16 point, or whatever my points are, make all those changes, I can do so. Right, and what's nice is it will then go through and apply it throughout the document. All right. So with that being said, let's jump over to my third feature that I think everyone needs to know. And this is AutoCorrect. So AutoCorrect, and we're going to jump back over to the full version of Word, but AutoCorrect is a way that allows us to basically it's a Microsoft feature. Like let's say if I go in and I type the word Tuesday wrong, right? So I've just mistyped that. If I hit space, Microsoft has a list of words that are if you see this word spelled this way, change it to this, right? So it's auto-correcting errors that we have, right? So Tuesday, if I spell Wednesday wrong, it's going to do those. So they've loaded stuff in, but you can create your own as well. So I like to put them in. So as an example, like $SSL, for me, if I hit space or return, we'll change over to say something like, or $APQ, answer any participant questions. $LMK, I think this one's still in there. Let me know a few times that work for you. So I can set up items that I type in a lot. I can create little shortcuts for them so I don't have to manually type in that information each and every time. This autocorrect feature is one of my favorites because it works across all platforms. So once I've set it up in Word or I set it up in Outlook, once I've restarted my other programs, so if I set it up in Word and I restart Outlook, when I relaunch Outlook, these will work over in there as well. So it's very powerful in that, that let me know a few times that work for you. A sentence you may type a lot in emails. I can now, instead of having to type it out each time, I type, for me, $LMK, and either hit space or return, and that will change over. So how we set this up is we have to actually get into Word's autocorrect features. So I have mine set up to I've set it to my quick access toolbar, right? So I could add it by going into drop down, customize the ribbon, right? Drop this to customize quick access toolbar, come to more commands, right? I'm going to have to change this over to all commands. And again, in the party favors you guys are getting in a little bit, these will, all this will be written down. So you don't feel like you have to take copious notes. But I would be able to scroll down. I would find autocorrect, in here. So it's actually AutoCorrect options. I could highlight it, I could move it over. Mine's already in there, but it's there. So that's one way you can get to it. The other one is if you go into File and you come down to all the way down to Options, and you get the Options box. It is under, which this is why I like Quick Access Toolbar, because then I don't have to always remember where it is. But it is under Proofing, AutoCorrect Options, and it will launch it. But so in this box for AutoCorrect, I can now come in and type in what do I want to have replaced in this left-hand side of the box. Right, so let me give myself an arrow. Right, in the left-hand side of the box, what I want to have typed in. And then in the right-hand side of the box, what I want to have, when this is typed in, change it over to this. So let me clear that out. So let's do equal sign. And I'm putting in an equal sign because, or any type of symbol in front of it, because it keeps me away from acronyms, right? So like, if let's say, well, here's best example. I used to use IRS for instructors, right? Instructors is just a word I type a lot, so I'm like, I'll just create IRS, which was fine until I had to send emails about the Internal Revenue Service, and every time I typed in IRS, it automatically converted over to instructors. So putting in some sort of precursor, in my case, I basically use a lot of equal signs. If you do use equal signs, though, know that can create an issue if you're using these, and they're similar to commands in Excel. So maybe you want to stay away from equal signs if you're a big Excel user. But I could put in like I'm going to do equal sign HYD, and I'm going to change that. So when that comes in, how are you doing? Question mark. So I've typed in what I want, what it's going to change into, and I can click on add, and then I could continue to go through. But in my case, I'm going to click OK. And here I'm going to close this out as well. Right now, so if I type in equal sign HYD and either hit space or return, it's going to populate in what I had typed. And obviously, look, I've misspelled this. So I'm actually going to correct this, and I'm going to pretend I did this on purpose. I really didn't, but here I'm going to correct this. And the other way we can add things to the Quick Access Toolbar, or I'm sorry, not to Quick Access Toolbar, to AutoCorrect, is I can highlight something that's already typed, and then if I come over and I click on AutoCorrect, so again, I've added AutoCorrect onto my Quick Access Toolbar, right? So I've got it right there. But if I click on this, what I have highlighted is now already filled in on the replace with side. And so I could now come in and change this over to HYD, right? So that's what I had in there. I could scroll through the list. And now basically by doing replace, I'm going to correct my error. So I'll click replace. And this is just letting me know, an AutoCorrect already exists for this. Do you want to redefine it? Do I want to save over this? So I'm going to say yes. And then I'll click OK. And one other thing to pay attention to, here we can do it as plain text, or you can do it as formatted text. So if you always wanted to come in with specific formatting, this font, this size, this color, all of those things, you could do that. I prefer to not do that, because now if I do that, it's doing that in lieu of styles. So I would rather just create this as a specific, as plain text. And now if I put it into my headings, into a heading 1 or my heading 1, whatever style I call it, it's going to apply that look and feel to this AutoCorrect versus coming in with the predefined formatting that you had set in there. But it's going to, again, it's personal preference. But I'm going to click OK. And now hit return, $HYD, and return, and now it actually spelled correctly. So yes, I was, it was, my live error, which I'm going to play, say it was, I did that on purpose. It wasn't. I was going to go through this, but it just was a great time to show it. All right, and let's see. So Jeremy just put in similar for @ which would create problems in Outlook. Exactly, right? Yes. So that the precursor, whatever symbol you want to use in front of it, just keep it away from things that, in other programs that you may use. And here, actually, let me pop open. Actually, let me do this. I'm going to actually close out my Outlook real quick. Close this out. I'm going to relaunch it. And the reason I'm going to do this, and let's just come over here so you guys don't see all my unread emails. But I'm going to go create a new email. Right, so we just did that HYD, so $HYD. Here, let me zoom in so we can see this a little better. HYD, hit return, changes over to how you doing, or how are you doing, if I want to speak with proper English. So again, once we've done something in AutoCorrect, we've made changes, is the next time you relaunch another program, it will work in there. So it will work immediately in Word because I'm in Word. It was done in Word. But if I want to use it in Outlook, I want to use it in PowerPoint, I have to relaunch or open up Outlook or PowerPoint if they aren't already open, or if they were, close them down, restart them, and it will work. So that is another feature that I really, really enjoy. Okay, so let's come over. We're coming down towards the end. We got 2 more. All right, so the second to last feature I want to talk about is the quick parts. So it's called quick parts in the PC version. In Mac version, it is auto text. But what this is, and actually we'll do one more new document. And so quick parts, where this lives, it is under the insert section of the ribbon. So if I go to insert, and it is over in the text portion, so over towards the right hand side. So it's where we got text box, just to the right of text box, there's quick parts. And what quick parts allows us to do, it allows us to insert predefined items that we've already created. It could be images, it could be charts, it could be tables, it could be a course structure, a course outline. So here, I've got a style structure. So I'm going to insert this in, and let me unzoom so you can actually see it better. But by inserting that, where my cursor was currently located, it will insert the information as I had put it in. So I had this come over with, just basically the structure of an outline, right? What's the title, some modules, some lessons. But I can now come through, and we're going to circle back to what we just showed with styles. I'm going to come over to that home tab. I'm going to open up my styles box. And so let's say I want this, I want to break this out into the actual styles I want to use. So this is going to be my title. I can mark it as title. And my module 1 is going to be a heading 1. And module 2 is also going to be my heading 1. Right? And I can quickly go through and get my structure into place. But I'm able to set this up so it's always there. Now, let's say I've now gone in, and actually I got an extra space. Again, why I like my paragraph marks, I can see where I have an extra space, or I've got an errant tab or things like that. But to me, this is actually more, this layout now having my formatting in place is better than the previous one where it was just the titles. So I could highlight this now, highlight all of this, and now I'm going to come back over to insert. I'm going to go over to quick parts, and in my drop down menu, I'm going to save my selection to the quick parts gallery. and I'm going to call this course outline. And I'm going to click OK. Right, so that was, I set that all up. We got it linking the way I want. Instead of creating a new document, I'm just going to delete out. But now when I want to insert this, I'm going to go back to Quick Parts. And now notice I have a course outline. And if I choose it where I put it, it's going to come in and it drops it into place automatically. It's set up. It's got my foundational structure, right? Structure matters. Got that in place. I've got my styles already put into place. And now I could come in, how to do this or that, right? There's my title, right? I could go through and I could start now putting in the information, right? So, and I could quickly go through, that's, it's my headline, right? And I have that set up on my style for after I headline, if I hit return, it now automatically becomes my body text. And I'm just going to put in, well, I thought I had it set up, so this is something I'm going to have to go back in and correct. But I could have body text, but we'll just set it up so it changes it over real quick, right? And I could then add in, I could just go through and start adding in the information I needed. Maybe here I wanted to insert, and this is another thing I like about Quick Parts, is it can bring in formatting. Like in this case, I've put in a table with an image and a headline and some text, or in this case, a field, what we're prompting people for, right? So I could now get into that field and type in whatever information I wanted, right? And again, I could go through, and ideally, if you're setting these things up within Quick Parts, you want to set it up so because Quick Parts keeps your formatting, you'll want to set it up that it's applying your styles automatically, so you don't have to go in and change these, right? So like this should have come through as like my body text, and that should have been my headline, right? And so these would all be looking the way, would all be set up the way I wanted it. So I can get this look. And again, because on my styles, on my ribbon, my quick access toolbar, I've put in that styles box. I've got that information. I can see wherever I put my cursor. And here, just so you can see what I'm talking about. I'm going to draw a little box around this. So there's that styles box that I've gone in. Oh, and I've just realized, I apologize, that I never unhid Jeremy's comments. So, Jeremy, it was a great comment, but I do need to take that off the screen. All right. But here, so under, my heading, in that styles box, I can now see wherever I put my cursor, right? So lesson 1 is my heading 2, or module 1, my heading 1, my headline text, my body text, right? And so when if I build this out and I share it with somebody, it's going to keep the look and feel exactly the way I want it. It's not going to apply their heading 1, their heading 2, their normal text, because I took some time to apply those styles. And I'm going to just put in a little bit more random text here, just because it's going to help us when we go to our last item. All right. So we've gone through Quick Access Toolbar, we've talked styles, we've talked AutoCorrect, we've talked Quick Parts. So the last one I want to talk about today is the navigation pane. And so the navigation pane is a feature that I think is very helpful, one for manipulating our document, getting through it. It helps us rearrange items in our document, can help us find things in there. And so the navigation pane is located, it's under the View tab. So we go to Zoom, we go to View, and down in the Show section, there's a little check mark right next to Navigation Pane. Right? And again, if I want this, I can right-click on it, I can add it to my Quick Access Toolbar, and now I don't have to worry about it. I can just, instead of trying to remember it's under view, it's just on my navigation, it's on my quick access toolbar, and I can turn it on and turn it off as I need it. But what's nice, some very nice features on the quick access toolbar, we can search our document based off of headings, right? So that's structure, right? Structure matters, right? So modules or heading 1s, heading 2s, modules, lessons, topics, subtopics, whatever you want to call those, that it will look at those. We can look at it based off of pages. So if I have a multi-page document, I can quickly go through it and see all my documents. Or I can search it off of results. So we'll do the results first. So let's say I wanted to see every place the word video was in my document. I type it in. Now this is we're looking at a couple paragraphs. So they're all on one page, but it will show when we search the navigation pane based off of results, I can click through to the different locations and it will take me to that exact location in my document. So if this was on page 57, I could find it. So searching by results, very powerful. Working by the headings is extremely powerful as well, because what it allows us to do is maybe we started laying this all out, right? And I decide, you know what, it makes more sense for lesson 1.2 to be actually fall into module 2 versus module 1. Instead of copying and pasting and doing all that, I just need to highlight lesson 1.2 on my navigation pane and drag it to where I want it to be in my, in the list, in that hierarchy on the left-hand side, and it will move that entire section within my document. And the entire portion. Words matter, so section has a specific meaning within Word, and this isn't a section, so the portion that I've called lesson 1.2 will be moved. So that all's now, instead of being under lesson 1.1, it's now under module 2, and it's after lesson 2.1. So I can drag things around and get them exactly the way I wanted it just by manipulating the structure within the navigation pane. Last piece that I think is very powerful in here, in the navigation pane, it also is a quick way to get into the Find feature, right? So we have Find, it's over on the Home tab, but it also is at the Quick Access toolbar, right? We used it to find the word video. But I can also, if I click on the little caret, I can come down, I'm going to come down to Advanced Find. And actually, I have based off of what I was last doing, I have it Find and Replace. And actually here, I just realized I wasn't showing you the entire screen. But here, so Find and Replace. I can search for words, right? Just like your normal find and replace, right? I can do match case, I can do all those things, but I can also search off of format, right? So as I said multiple times, styles is a foundational piece. So what I can do under format is I can come down and I can choose style. And so maybe what I actually want to do is I want to find every place that was set up as, I called my body text, right? So I'm going to search for maybe unzooming this will make it a little bit easier. I'm going to search for my body text, and I'm going to replace it with, I'm going to go back to format, I'm going to come to style, and I'm going to replace it with that test style, right? The one I made with Algerian and the awful red. But I'm going to apply that, and so because I'm structurally and mechanically setting things up in my documents, I can now search for a specific style. Everything that was my body text is now going to be this style instead. And because maybe I don't want to change my style because it is something I want. I need it for other documents. But in this one, it needs something else. So it's easier to create a different style. And now I can make make my choices. I now can click Replace All, and it will run through the documents. And every place that had my body text has now become, my test style and applies the look and feel. So navigation pane, very powerful in kind of managing my document. How is things laid out? How do I want to apply, I can take advantage of the structural and foundational pieces that are in my document. All right. So those are my 5 tips that I think everyone should talk about. And actually, 50 minutes, this obviously is a longer lunch, my normal lunch hour, half hour, longer than that, but these ones are very powerful. I think they're going to make a huge difference for you. Now, I've said multiple times, party favors, right? So let me come back to the office. If we're talking party favors, it's probably time, get my party suit on. And I'm going to actually put them up into the chat. We actually have, let's come back here. I have created quick reference guides in here. I can't look at myself wearing this. I'm ridiculous. I've created quick access guides or quick reference guides for each of these 5 items. So I'm going to give you links to those so you guys can download them, showing you overview, where it's located, basically the process to it. So this is the quick access toolbar, how to add, how to remove the items. So just kind of a walking you through step by step, so it will make your life easier. Obviously, I'd love, come back, watch the videos, the recording anytime, reach out to me. But sometimes just having that, knowing you have access to a job aid makes your life easier. So I've got all of those for you. Let me see, can I do this real quick? Pop over. Let's see if I can get these to quickly post in for you guys. Yep, so these links should take you directly to each of these guides. These are also located on the Great Circle Learning website, so you can get those there. For those who have found, who like using Word but are looking to get a little bit more automations involved, we do offer tools, and I'm always happy to kind of talk about those for you. But these should be all 5 of those items. And actually, you know what? I'm just realizing that LinkedIn doesn't allow me to post these. I don't think these are showing up in the LinkedIn chat. So after this is over, I will go through and add each one of these. For those who are watching on YouTube, those should have come in for you automatically. But I will post these into the chat or into the comments on the video as soon as this is over. The one ask, I have for you, and I feel weird, but I'm going to do it anyways. I have been, putting these out. I've been trying to do this on a weekly basis. Obviously, it's a learning curve. I'm, each time I'm getting a little bit better, finding new errors. Right. For those who joined Wednesday, which again for Alex Salis from LXD Launch, it was an amazing session, except for the portion where my sound didn't work for the first 10 minutes. Right. But we got to put ourselves out there to learn. But for those who haven't, if you guys could go over to the YouTube channel, my YouTube channel, which I did post in the links at the beginning, because sometimes LinkedIn doesn't pick these up, so I want you to make sure you guys can get there. But if you haven't had a chance to subscribe, if you could, that would be great. One, because I'm going to try to. There's a much better quality on the YouTube recordings than there is what LinkedIn's coming through. And so I'm just trying to make sure, certain information is probably going to go straight to YouTube because I can make sure the quality is right. It's one downside, and it's, for all of us in the training, one of the biggest downsides of virtual training, same with live streaming, is at the end of the day, we can do as much as we can to control our sound and our video, but we're at the mercy of the platforms we're going through, and at the mercy of the end user, right? So you could have the best gear, the best camera, you could have, top of the line, Hollywood quality sound, but it's being, like in this case, it's going through a platform to send it to LinkedIn, LinkedIn's compressing it to meet their requirements. And at the end of the day, it's also what do you have? What are you listening on, right? Is this going through your computer, the speakers on your laptop, or do you have it going through the system on your like on your stereo? Like all of those things play a role, and all of that's outside of our realm as a facilitator, as a virtual producer, as a streamer, any of those things. That's not to say like we don't need to, and I know for a fact I need to, like, my sound needs to get better. It's something I'm diligently working with. The worst part about it is my older brother is an Emmy winning sound editor in Hollywood, and so this is what he's done for like 30 years, and my sound is in the tubes. We had a long conversation yesterday to get this all to work on getting it all resolved. But that's being said, for those, if you can go in, if you could, subscribe, it would mean a lot to me. And anytime you guys need anything, just reach out. Hit me up on my email is on LinkedIn. Shoot me an email. Send me a direct message. Anything. I'm here to help you guys get better. If you want to learn more about what we can do as a company, I'm open to talk. But I'm here. Let me help you. With that, I'm going to give you 3 minutes. This was the longest learning and development lunch hour to date. So I'm going to let that go. I'm going to let you guys go. Have a wonderful weekend. Take care, and we'll see you guys next week. All right? Enjoy your weekend, folks.